What's up, everybody? Back with another Honkai Star video, and we're going to talk about should you summon for a Don Hang. This is the last stretch, really, if you want Don Hang. I always do these videos at the end just because I know a lot of people like to actually save until the end of banner to figure out if they want to summon or not. That gets them the most info via if they don't do leaks and they're just, you know what Fu Xuan does now, or if they do leaks and like, oh, hey, okay, like Topaz, she looks pretty good, right? Let's go for her instead. Or like, I like Jinglu, we'll go for her instead. So, whatever you may be, here we are making this video. So, Don Hang has a pretty good banner, right? You do not need his light cone. I accidentally pulled him, and I say accidentally because I was actually going for Asta dupes for my DOT team for when I like don't have Silver Wolf on the team, or I can just slide in another character for whatever reason, right? Ended up pulling him, right? So I have a no light code E0 Don Hang, and I'm using the Herder Shop one, and he is disgusting. I think I have like 120 crit rate, or not crit rate, crit damage on mine, and then I have a 70 crit rate. He puts in a lot of work for being like halfly built. Like all his traces are max, I think, except for like one imaginary damage one at the end. But he puts in a lot of work. So if you are looking for a very good hyper carry, Don Hang is your guy. Now, through leaks, we know that Jinglu is also going to be somewhat strong. Is she going to be Don Hang level? We'll have to see if they make any changes. It's looking like she's going to be pretty strong. So if you're just looking for one DPS and you're not a big fan of Don Hang, or you don't like Imaginary, or, you love women, I guess, Jinglu is an option. But he is the best DPS right now, right? Now, if you're not looking for a DPS, don't worry, right? There's going to be plenty more of those. Fu Xuan is coming out. You do have to consider that Fu Xuan is probably going to be one of, like, Luocha 2.0, basically. She's going to be on every team, or I guess every team that Luocha is not on, she'll probably be on. So it's going to be another one of those units, so keep that in mind, right? Or if you have Luocha and you don't really care for Fu Xuan, that's fine too. Don Hang is definitely worth it. Now, enough about Don Hang just being this awesome, like, Chad. Before we get into like a few things about his kit, his banner is actually not bad, right? Yukong is a pretty good support. Asta, pretty good support. March 7th. I have my critiques on her, but she still is pretty good, right? She may not be the best shielder I've ever seen, but she can put in work and do some pretty neat things, right? So there's no way any bad units on the banner. Also, a big W for this banner is it's not competing with Don Hang, right? The thing that kind of sucks is when you have, like, okay, so Don Hang is an AoE imaginary character. Imagine if Yukong was, she's imaginary, but she was the hunt DPS, right? And okay, if you pull Don Hang, you're probably not going to use, said hunt character, right? So I'm not a huge fan of that, where it's like, okay, if I pull the limited 5-star, the 4-stars I've been pulling is kind of like, okay, I'm not really going to build them, which is a little unfortunate, right? Luckily, Don Hang doesn't have that issue. Fu Xuan's banner is really cool as well, because it has Pila, the new healer Lynx, who's extremely good, and it has Hook is where it's like, she's like okay, right, not bad, but it has a healer. Fu Xuan, I know she heals, right, but she's more of a defensive unit, and then you have Pila, which is support. So she has another good banner. It's really rough, right? Like, these two banners are very good, but let's get into a little bit of what Don Hang does. So Don Hang's whole gimmick, right, is you spam his skill. Let me go to here, it's a little bit easier. Spam his skill, and for how many times you use it, his basic attack is enhanced. So it goes from just a normal attack to a 5-hit to a 7-hit, and when you do, I believe, 5-hit and 7-hit are blast. Well, the first enhanced and the normal are single target. Pretty much, if you use 3 skill points, you're going to be doing a crap ton of damage, and it's going to hit 3 enemies. Or if you're targeting someone on the side, it's going to hit the next one, right? And then his ultimate, full AoE blast. gives him this little buff that you don't have to use a skill point, right? And it gives you 2 of them, and you can hold 3 max, right? So it gives you skills, so he's kind of like sort of self-efficient in a way to counteract the skill point usage. So far, I have not had an issue with skill points with him. There's like here and there where like you get caught out and you have to like heal or do something with a different character. Dan Heng can't get his full AoE, but I don't find myself running into those too often, like multiple turns over and over. I don't run into that unless it's like the fight's downhill and it's already like looking pretty bad. But overall, very, very strong unit. If you do not have a good DPS, I recommend trying to pull him. If you don't have a good DPS and you don't have a good like healer slash tank, like you don't have Bailu, Luocha, or Jeopard, I'm gonna be a bit biased on this. I think you should definitely go for Fu Xuan instead. Alright, you can get away with building a 4-star, but when it comes to survivability, I feel like it's a bit harder to make someone like Natasha the Trailblazer tank enough for the team compared to making a unit hit hard enough to just kill an enemy. Like, you can do some pretty nifty stuff with the 4-stars, but I don't think they're doing anything close to what Fu Xuan's doing. But anyway, keep that in mind when summoning. Best of luck if you do summon. Let me know how it goes in the comments. I'm probably going to go for links myself, so I'll probably have a like 1, 2, 3-ish multis going into Fu Xuan's banner. If I get her, big W. If I don't, I'm hoping it leaks for links. Really quickly with the light cone banner, honestly, if you aren't like the biggest Dan Heng fan, you probably just don't bother with this. There's no really point. You can get away with it. It's not like some other units where their light cone is like almost part of their kit. You need it, right? Like, it helps a lot with the energy regeneration rate and like the crit rate for how you build him and how you want to play him, but it's by no means necessary. Dan Heng does amazing damage without it. But other than that, that'll probably be it for the video. Quick recap, like I said, 4-stars are good on the banner. Dan Heng is the best DPS. You cannot go wrong unless you already have a ton of DPSs and then you have no sustain units. If you don't have sustain units, definitely summon on the next banner for Fu Xuan instead. Dan Heng will come back around eventually, and if you don't care, you're just looking for a good DPS, after Fu Xuan there is Jinglu, who is a good DPS. That's pretty much the recap on that. Other than that, thanks for watching. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe even. We are steadily gaining subs, and of course, when Fu Xuan comes out, probably have content on her as well, so don't want to miss it. Also, there's that little bell that YouTube has. I don't always tell people to click it, but if you do, that would be pretty cool. Other than that, thanks for watching, and I'll catch y'all in the next Honkai Star video.